Well, hi everybody, and welcome to episode 99 of Gamestack. 99 bottles of beers on the wall. I ruined your title. I said it wrong. I'm sorry. I had one shot, Mr. Dreyfus. Hi everybody. Welcome. Hope everyone had a great week out there in the world. I am here with Miss Shalene.
Hi.
And Mr. Richard Dreyfus.
Hello.
Hi. It just occurred to me that you look like Richard Dreyfus at the moment. It's the beard.
And why
See it.
Oh,
You what?
the mustache, my porn
You don't
stash?
see it?
I don't think he looks like Richard Dreyfus.
Oh, come on. Richard Dreyfus, and what about Bob? Maybe
Can we
sans
just
white hair.
acknowledge this beautiful sheen from the compact
The
makeup that I have
cheekbones
on?
are very...
Let's see here. Richard Dreyfus.
Well,
What about Bob?
Are we live, by the way?
wait,
Yeah,
I think
okay.
I part of me hopes that we aren't.
Maybe a little.
A little.
Nah.
Anyway,
Oh, you are sharing your screen.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Thank you guys for joining us, guys and gals. And tonight we are sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you go to oakandcrow.com, head to the Artist's Coffee page where you can find the exclusive We Just Love Coffee blend that when you purchase it, every $2 goes to Children's Miracle Network, John Hopkins Baltimore branch. So every bag you purchase goes to help little kids and fight their battles with whatever ails them, and also supplies them with video games as well, because that is a big part of Johns Hopkins healing program. So head to oakandcrow.com. They have really delicious coffees there, and specifically the We Just Love Coffee blend. Also, are we announcing our new... No? Okay,
No.
all right. So, moving on.
You know what I did notice?
Yes.
You pronounce Baltimore what I assume to be sort of a local way that it's pronounced, which is Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Okay.
Baltimore?
Do you say Baltimore or Baltimore?
It's
Is
ki-
it Baltimore?
It's Baltimore. But if you're from Baltimore, it's Balmer. Balmer? There's a whole different linguistic thing they
What
have.
is that one state that I botched that one time? You guys never let it down.
No. There's a few.
Was it Oregon?
Oregon?
I think I said Oregon.
Yeah, it's not Oregon. It's not Oregon. It's Oregon. Baltimore. So anyway, yes, we are sponsored by Just Oak and Crow, only Oak and Crow, ever, forever Oak and Crow. You can host us on Twitch because that helps us a lot. You can also leave us a review on iTunes, and there is a 5-star review, which happens to not be in the show notes.
Yeah, that's because I couldn't get it to copy and paste, but I would be happy to read it.
Please do.
Yes,
Ooh.
Vodka Knockers left this 5-star review. He says, I just love this podcast. This show is informative, hilarious, and truly fantastic. I first
Informative?
found this group's TFS podcasts last year and immediately started listening to Gamestack as well. The hosts and their guests have the best discussions and share the real news that matters. No fake news here. Just
Sorry.
witty commentary mixed with on-point movie quoting and occasional off-the-rails silliness.
Occasional.
I came for the gaming discussions and I stayed for the colon jokes. Their Discord community is great as well. In short, once you go stack, you'll never go back.
Wow, that's brilliant.
I can't believe we never thought of that one.
Wow, whoever wrote that?
Vodka
we need
knockers.
to like hire you.
Yeah, we
for
need a
our
writer.
PR. Yeah,
Checks in the mail, Vodka Knockers.
brilliant.
Also, we have a new Discordian, Shalene, while you're at it, because it's only one.
Musclehead 007, welcome to Discord. That name is super familiar to
Can
me.
you-
I
can you
feel
repeat
like
the
he
name?
may be from back in the day. Musclehead 007.
That's great. I think your
Ah.
mic cut out there for a second. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Lucky Musclehead gets the only spot on the Discord Spotlight foyer this week. Can I just talk about something in the Discord? Okay,
No.
I think we have a real problem.
Really?
Yeah. What
Because-
tipped you off? Every problem we've had?
I made an Among Us channel, and you know what happened? It's filled with GIFs.
Yes.
The whole thing is just GIFs everywhere.
Every channel turns into GIF wars.
They're all
That's so
GIFs.
funny.
All the channels.
Choosy moms, choose them.
Anyways, we have an Among
The
Us
thing
channel
that really
now,
cracked
so-
me up was that in that Among Us channel, I think our bot has grown sentience. He's grown
Right?
self-awareness.
Really?
What was that about?
Yes. Okay. So the bot has we do discourage abundant swearing in there, right? In the Discord.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
keep
Well, the
it
bot-
under control.
The bot will tell you what you're
The
doing.
bot will tell you if you've said a naughty word. And
Yeah.
Tim posted a GIF in the Among Us channel of one of the little Among Us guys doing a little twerk, and the bot reacted.
Really?
The bot was like,
Yes.
now. You know
What
that
did it
shouldn't be here.
say? Let me check. It was funny what it said.
Let me
It's
see.
one of my preset things.
Among Us, it said, really? Must you? In response to this very vigorously twerking Among Us guy.
I wonder what was in the so there's only I think 3 words that triggers the
So
cuss
maybe it's the
monitor.
GIF, the
So
word
the
of
URL.
the GIF.
Yeah,
It's
the
the
description of the
URL.
GIF. Yeah.
Oh.
I just thought
whatever's
that
in
was really funny. The
I responded. I'm like, how did it know? And then I like, you know that Fry from Futurama where he's like
the
squinty eyed.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like,
No, yeah, so it's in the URL. The cuss word is. I'm hoping it's the F word and not the other 2 because I'd be really sus if it was the other 2. But yeah, I added a really fun little Easter egg in the cussy warnings, which says "stop effing cussing," which is funny because it's usually right after you say the F
Right.
word.
Yeah.
have
It's
to-
nice. Well, didn't you had it? You had it at one point where it would trigger itself, and then it like got stuck in a
Yes,
loop.
I made it. It actually did a loop.
Yes. That was
It
great.
was just like arguing with itself. I do have to go in and make the gamble command of like you don't know what GIF you're gonna get. I do need to go and do that, but I've just been
Wild card.
yeah, I've just been busy, guys. But
Hey,
yeah.
we get it. We get it.
Anyway, tonight we've got some news. We've got some gameplay. I think all 3 of us have actually been playing games, which is kind of rare. Eh? Eh?
Shalene's like, I only have 3 pages of Animal Crossing tonight. That's it. I swear.
I haven't even downloaded the new update. Haven't even installed it. I'm jonesing right now. Like I'm just.
Yeah.
Do y'all got any of that Animal Crossing?
Shalene's like,
I suspect that Carlo might be a closet Animal Crosser. Wait, that did not come out right.
I can only imagine what Shalene's gameplay is like. She's like, I have it written in my journal. It's not much, so let's start.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually. Did you know that I actually do keep a video game journal?
For our audio folks, Rick pulled out a giant, like a Sears catalog, and just like started flipping through it.
Actually,
Yeah.
technically,
No,
it's Modern Recording Techniques 8th edition by David Miles Hubel and Robert
Not sponsored.
Runston. Yeah, not
So
sponsored.
is a heat lamp considered modern?
None of
recording
that is
technique?
considered modern.
Okay. I'm like, this is really ironic.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything I do.
So my partner and I are going to California December 11th to the 28th for Christmas this year. And I had this little bit like kind of a panic attack because I realized that I would not be able to play any video games during that time.
Right.
And which is fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with it. There's nothing wrong. I'll be fine. I'm fine.
Buy Switch.
Sounds
And
like
then I
it'd be
was like,
fine.
wait, Carlo has a Switch.
Ah.
I was like, maybe we should get Animal Crossing. And I mentioned it to
do it.
him. And then I was like, nah, because like we'll pay money for this game and then he'll never play it and I'll never play it because I won't have his Switch. So it'll be like, we'll have it for like 2 weeks and that's it. But now he just keeps mentioning it. He's like, you want me to get Animal Crossing? Are you sure? Maybe I'll just buy it.
I think you guys should get Animal Crossing, and I will bring you like fruits and stuff from my island. It's gonna be great.
I heard that you can play it on PC now. Is that correct?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh.
Yeah, my kid is asking for. Well, I asked her what she wanted for Christmas, and she goes, "I would like a TV for my room." And I was like, "You're never in your room to spend any time. And what would you do
She
with the
would
TV?"
be if she had a TV.
I was like, "Well, what would you do if you have a TV? There's no way to like watch it. We don't have TV." And she's like, why I would watch like Netflix and stuff. I'm like, but we watch Netflix through the Xbox and stuff. And she's like, well, then I'll take an Xbox too. I'm like, what do you think I am?
I'll
like,
take an Xbox too.
I was like, you'd never play it. She's like, well, I'll watch something. I'm like, what do you? No, I'm not buying you an Xbox and a TV for you to watch it every once in a minute.
Get her a TV that has the Netflix built in.
I know, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'm a master manipulator when it comes to Christmas presents when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is that she actually wanted the Xbox the whole time, and she was just sort of like trying to build it up with the TV.
Because I was asking her, like, what games do you want even for it? She's like, I don't want any games. I just want the Xbox to watch Netflix. I'm like, no.
What? No, just get a Fire Stick.
I know, well, a smart TV.
It's
but yeah,
$20.
It's just funny because she just, I don't know where her head is. But anyway, I hope you have a lot of fun in Cali and with Animal Crossing as well. Great. You're going to fight over the Switch.
Well, I mean, we're not really going to be doing anything crazy because the COVID restrictions, right? And I'm still paranoid. But like his grandparents have an estate in Calamessa, like up in the hills, and it's all like gated and
bougie.
So we're just gonna like chill at home most of the time, and
in the California sun. Nice.
Well, it's gonna be like 15 degrees there. So
15?
Yeah, it's like their winter.
Remember, he uses Celsius degrees.
What is that in American?
Hey
That's
Siri,
probably gonna be like.
What is 15 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
15 degrees Celsius is 59 degrees.
59.
Oh, that's
that was about what I was gonna guess.
That's a nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, we're just gonna like chill, and we'll probably go to the outlets because outlets in US are like so much better. But
I went to
anyways,
the Converse.
we should probably do a show.
I went to the Converse outlet, and they're like, their price $50, our price $49.99. I'm not kidding.
See, but you don't as a Canadian going into an American outlet mall, it's like I'll take 5 of everything, and I've got all these purses on my arm that I'm never gonna use. That's what happens. Because the outlet malls here, it's like we have out of season stuff that's 10% off.
Right. Yeah. I really like the Coach outlet store where you get like the $300-$400 purses for like $100.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing. I love it.
What are we doing?
Well, a show.
We never didn't even get through the overview.
Can we also, just one more announcement before we get to the overview.
Sure.
Guys, if you're tuning in right now live, or if you're listening to the show after the fact, our next episode is our 100th episode, November 19th at 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. or 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. No, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern. Don't forget, join us, tell your friends, bring the popcorn, bring the beer. It's going to be a great show. We've got lots of things planned. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. So it's going to be a great show. And we're really excited, and we want you all to be there because you guys are the people that got us to this point, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to get mushy before the show. We'll save that for the 100th episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring your waterproof mascara to that one.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we left off. We have news, we have gameplay, we have Gamestock, and a game science segment. But before we get into any of that, this just in. And to start it off, we're going to talk about some free games for November. Take it away, Rick. Thank you, Rick. So for the PlayStation Plus games for November, we have Knockout City, First Class Trouble, Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. And that was based off the PlayStation blog written by Adam Michael. Never trust a person with 2 first names.
Michael.
They also added The Persistence, The Walking Dead, Saints & Sinners - Standard Edition, and Until You Fall, which will all be free on the PS VR games available, and then you can add them to your library. The 3 monthly games and the total of the story are available until Monday, December 6th, while the 3 PSVR games are available now until Monday, January 3rd, 2022. Oh, okay, I see. That was probably important for me to not mumble. Anyway, new games with gold for November 2021. We have Moving Out, which must be like what, a Gen Z
Okay,
sim?
it's like
No.
Overcooked with suitcases.
It's hilarious. I played it.
Yeah, it looks
It's
really
awesome.
cute.
It's overcooked, but it's like a little bit more chaotic. Like you can like
More chaotic.
throw a TV out a bay window out onto the front lawn to get it out of the house.
Oh,
We've got to play this.
It's
We
pretty
must.
fun. Yeah.
so that's
Okay.
available from November 1st through the 30th. Kingdom 2 Crowns is available November 16th through December 15th. Rocket Knight, November 1st through the 15th. And Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes, November 16th through the 30th. Twitch Prime free games website is Level by Dan Alder. I don't know why there's so many V's in that URL, but there is. 10 free games this month. Oh my goodness. This is worth it if you can. Star Wars: Squadrons, great game if you have VR. Alien: Isolation, never played it, but it looks like a good survival horror Sunday thing. Ghost Runner, Song of Horror Complete Edition. Red Wings: Aces of the Sky, Aces. Wallace and Gromit's Grand Adventures. Blue Fire, Tiny Robots
Okay.
Reach Your...
I'm gonna have to stop you right there because that's October's list.
Okay, I thought it
That
sounded
is
a little familiar.
absolutely October's list. Give me one moment here, and I am going to get us the current list, which will be available at any moment, and I will read it to you. As the Amazon launcher is opening slowly, I'm watching the progress bar. Someday we'll have this information, and we'll pass it on to you. Okay, free games with Prime. We have Demon Hunter 2 New Chapter, Liberated, Baffle, Breaks Are for Losers, Secret Files, Sam Peters, Rogue Heroes, Ruins of Tassos, and Puzzle Agent 2. And then we've got the bonus stuff with Prime. And you know how they do like extra content
Yeah.
for some games? So among that stuff is a Fallout 76 packet of things. And also you can get a copy of Dragon Age Inquisition for Origin for free, a copy of Control Ultimate Edition on Good Old Games for free, and a copy of Rise of the Tomb Raider with all the bonus content on Epic Game Store for free. So those are all worth it. Well worth
Nice.
checking out.
Awesome. Well, that is the free games for November, and we're going to talk about some news. And which one of you two wants to take the news? Because I don't know who is going to do it.
I guess I'll do it.
Awesome. Shalene, what's just in?
I have no idea. You know what's not in though is NVIDIA GPUs
Ooh.
because they were stolen off of a truck in California. It was a heist. It was a graphics card heist.
Where's Vin Diesel? Has anybody seen Vin Diesel?
Brilliant.
This is a GameSpot article. I can't tell.
It's GameSpot.
GameSpot.
Okay, by Eddie McCooch, our dear friend, good old Eddie. And Eddie writes that video card manufacturer EVGA confirmed that one of its trucks carrying RTX 30 cards was overtaken by thieves while en route from San Francisco to a Southern California distribution center.
God, that movie's going to be
Great.
great.
The heist took place on October 29th, and thieves stopped the truck and took an unspecified number of the graphics cards. The cards are in high demand, EVGA said, and each had a value between $330 and $2,000. It's not clear how many units were on the truck, but it is not hard to imagine this being a very substantial heist.
Yeah.
The specific details of how the heist went down are unavailable at this time.
Well,
I
of
am
course
definitely
they are.
imagining a Vin Diesel style, like driving up while the truck is driving, just like rolling the crate of graphics cards off.
I just want to know, like, where was it? Like on the freeway? Was it in a small like street?
And And EVGA said they wanted to remind folks that it is a crime under U.S. federal law to buy or receive stolen property. That includes these cards. So they advise that you check the serial number and run them against EVGA's My Products page. If the card can be registered, it wasn't stolen. So
I was just looking at the comments, and someone's like, it was probably they probably are going to use them to mine crypto, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. That's exactly why they're stolen.
Because then they can't be, it makes more sense.
They're going to be
crypto farms.
They're going to have to be careful, because if all of a sudden they're monitoring their electrical grid and they see some house just spikes up in electricity, they're going to go, methinks. Because that's what happens. Like, your electricity bill goes through the roof.
They're just going to think, man, those guys are using a bunch of air conditioners all the time.
I mean, if they're looking for that much loot, that much value in loot, they're going to be looking for this. They're not going to
have them all in one central area.
That's how you mine.
Yeah. That's how
you have them all in one rack.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy has been mining for months, and he does not use his heat, because he has so many graphics cards. His house is constantly at 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
That sounds awful.
It's stupid.
Well, he makes a lot of money doing it. Now, he did not do the heist, but I'm just saying, so that's why I'm saying, whoever's monitoring that electrical grid.
That sounds like somebody who would do the heist would say.
Yes. If they're monitoring the electrical grid and they see a house just bloop, spike up with like, all of a sudden they're not using their AC anymore, and their heat bill's gone down, but their electric use has gone up. Methinks mining. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to know how that happened.
Law enforcement wouldn't be that intuitive.
I don't know.
And I mean, let's be honest here.
Well, how much do they know about graphics cards?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like that's the question.
Let's be honest here. EVGA is going to write that off.
Yeah.
It's a drop in the bucket for them,
probably.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe it was an EVGA employee.
Yeah, like that Microsoft guy that had millions of dollars in gift cards, and he built himself a cabin.
That was so funny.
Or it's like the sheriff from Blazing Saddles, the truck driver himself. The truck driver's gonna get it. Don't shoot. But he's holding himself hostage. So,
did you guys hear about that hiker that joined his own search party?
Yes.
So who are you guys looking for?
Me? I'll help you find him.
It's hilarious. Anyways.
Oh goodness, that was so good.
Well, actually, I was at the cannabis shop the other day getting some gummies, and the guy at the shop was like, "Yeah, we got to keep most of our stuff. We don't really know when it arrives." And they don't tell us until the day because our trucks keep getting robbed.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Anyways.
What's next on the docket?
I was trying to figure out how to turn that into a red light, green light reference, and I
it was all red lights.
It. Yeah, it was all red lights.
Really?
But we're doing an article now about Squid Game, the game, which I didn't know existed. This is a Washington Post article. So Netflix, Squid Game, of course, is this huge thing for Netflix right now. And the streaming platform has, what is this? What is this? I should have read through this first. Okay, so it turns out Netflix did not make a Squid Game game. And that's I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
This one's going in the montage.
Do we need to take a little bit of a break here?
No. Okay. They made
so
basically what happened on Tuesday, Netflix added several previously released games and a newcomer to its Android mobile app. The releases failed to garner much excitement, but on platforms like Steam, YouTube, and Twitch, players can't get enough of the fan-made games based on the Netflix latest TV sensation, Squid Game. One game in particular, Crab Game, has managed to pull in tens of thousands of concurrent players on PC and through Steam each day since its launch on October 29. And Twitch viewers have really turned out to watch their favorite streamers play this game, created by Daniel Suman, a solo developer and YouTuber who goes by the handle Danny. His game, Crab Game, hardly sports a complete look, but you would associate it with the popular Netflix series Squid Game. And so the allure of this Squid Game-esque type game puts players into challenges paired with online multiplayer universes that have transformed and really sort of become a hit overnight. And so I put this article in here. I apologize, Shalene. I was kind of setting you up for failure there.
No worries, dear. Everything's good.
Yeah, I meant it is sort of a Squid Game because it's built on the premise of Squid Game. So, have you guys watched Squid Game?
No.
I've watched the first 2 episodes.
Really, Rick? You haven't watched it?
I only have Netflix on our TV downstairs, so I don't have it on my computer. So.
Oh, it's
but
really
Netflix
messed up.
is on the computer.
It's
Rick.
not my login. We've been over this.
Oh,
Right.
right.
Right, you're freeloading off someone else.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It's cool. They're freeloading all some of our stuff, so it's kind of like tit-tat thing.
Oh,
I feel like Netflix missed the boat on this, where maybe they've got like a Squid Game in development since they are doing Netflix games, and they're like, oh, it's going to be great. We're going to have this, that, and then some guy just kind of builds one willy-nilly, and they're like, damn it, because all these people are playing it.
all I can say is that I need to play a Crab Game and see how close it is to Squid Game, because there's some IP issues there. If this game closely mimics some of the games that are in Squid Game, I feel like this developer is going to have an issue on his hands.
I mean, but how though? Because like Squid Game takes so much inspiration off of battle royales and also Saw.
How would you know since you haven't watched
Because
it?
I know the premise. It's a bunch of people that compete in things and they die a lot. So like
no. So if you watch Squid Game and you look at this screenshot from Crab Game in the thing, it looks exactly like the first game. Doesn't
okay, well,
it, Shalene?
all right.
Yes.
As far as the look is concerned, but I just mean that like it's kind of hard to. It's fine. Maybe the name Crab Game is a little close to home.
Why do they call it? Oh yeah,
Because squid, crab.
Mhm.
Isn't there a crab game in that? Isn't that one of the games? I could be wrong.
no.
I'm only on episode 2.
Oh.
No.
So, I don't know. But
I read a spoiler article on it, so I.
it's
that
a
game
weird show.
messed me up. Yeah, that game messed me up.
It's really interesting. I want to see what happens. I don't watch a lot of TV, so it takes me a long time.
I can't wait to
for
hear what
things.
you think about it when you finish it.
We'll definitely have a discussion.
I'll bet you a lot of the people die.
Possible. Yeah, it's possible. Why do you think they named it Squid Game?
I don't know.
Naming things is so hard. Remember how long it took us to name this podcast and this network?
It might mean something a little differently. I mean, is it lost in translation?
Go with
Because it
me,
is
Rick.
South Korean.
Go with me here. Remember how long it
Yes,
took
it was
to
so
name this
hard
podcast?
to name this podcast.
Yes, it was. And when we were naming this podcast, one of the main things that we did was Google our prospective names to see if they were taken or not.
Mhm.
Because, you don't want to use a name that somebody else is already using for their podcast.
Nah.
Or if you're a company, for example, you wouldn't want to use a name that's already in use by another company.
Yeah.
Correct.
And maybe Facebook should have considered that before rebranding themselves as Meta, because if they had done a Google, they would have found that that a PC company already owns these rights.
Wait,
They're asking, yeah.
wait, what? So, wait, Facebook's what?
Facebook has renamed itself to Meta,
Hmm.
but the business name is already taken,
Yes,
But
because they're done.
essentially.
But so is it gonna be Meta.com?
No, Facebook as a platform is remaining Facebook, but the parent company will be called Meta, which to me feels like just a PR move to distance the company from the
It's all about
It's
shares,
also
bad
right?
press
It's also
of
really
Facebook.
meta. It's really meta.
It's the exact
Yes.
same thing that Google did with Alphabet, right?
Yes,
Because it was
exactly.
Google, and then they put it under a subsidiary.
Yes, just to separate create that level of separation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
And obviously, I mean, it's a signal to the volatility of Facebook, and what may be coming in the next couple of years.
I would love if it went away.
Yeah, I wish it would just obliterate.
Yeah, but then we'd be left with like Instagram and TikTok, and nobody wants that.
That's fine.
well, we wouldn't have Instagram anymore if Facebook obliterated.
I like Instagram though. That's the
I
only
do
one
like
I like.
Instagram. Instagram is great because you can follow a bunch of cute animal accounts. It's my favorite thing.
Nice.
Yeah. I followed a bunch of hamster accounts recently, and I'm really upset that none of them are named Instaham. I feel like that's obvious. We should name your
what about
hamster account
spam?
Instaham.
I follow kids getting hurt because it makes me happy. To see
Kids
children.
wiping out is some of
so
the
good.
greatest humor.
Every time you see a child on a scooter, you're like, this is not going to end well.
Do you
Ever.
follow Stupid Kids subreddit?
No, I'm not on Reddit
it's-
anymore.
It's brilliant. It's like kids like getting their heads stuck in things. It's awesome.
Reddit made me annoyed because everybody hated everything on Reddit.
Redditors are jerks.
I can't-
Y'all are a bunch
Everybody's
of
a jerk.
a-holes.
They're just chads.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one thing with Instagram is I don't see a lot of negativity that I see everywhere else on Instagram. So,
You know who else is a jerk? Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, who did not Google Meta before he took it. And yeah, there's a little company, Meta PC, who is an Arizona-based PC company. They are willing to relinquish the trademark for the name. They are asking for $20 million.
Nice. I would do the
Oh.
same. I would
Put
do
another-
the same thing.
Put another zero on there. Put
I
another
agree.
zero.
I agree.
Facebook. No,
Mhm.
because look, look. You cannot watch any movie. All right, watch any movie. The people that get shot first are the greedy guys. They do the deal. They get back to the mob boss. He's like, "Here's your money," and the young upstart's like, "You know what? No, no. I'm gonna need like $5 more grand. That's what I'm gonna need." And then they all of a sudden disappear. Every movie, greedy guys get killed. They're like, "I'm gonna go back for the last bag of cash," and then they get mowed down. No, 20 mil, clean 20 mil. They're in, they're out. Good. They made 20 million. Fine. Don't get greedy. You don't die.
Yes. Well, anyways, good for you, Meta. Get your bag. Get your bag.
That's right.
That's it.
How do you think that guy felt when he woke up and turned on the TV?
He just went, "Yes."
Today's the night we're selling the house.
The gamble paid off.
Good.
All we got to do is wait for
How
Zuckerberg to be
dumb
like,
is that? How
Was-
dumb is that they didn't even check?
I don't know.
Like, the first thing we did when we were picking names was Google it to see if somebody else started using that.
Didn't Zuckerberg have a bottle of barbecue sauce on his bookshelf in some
He
video or
did.
something? So I mean,
It was the Meta video. There was a bottle of barbecue sauce on the bookshelf.
who.
Well,
That's
okay,
the
wait a minute.
person. You,
Because that's plainly a thing that human beings do.
What kind of barbecue sauce?
it was Sweet Baby Ray's, I think.
Yes.
Oh,
It was a bottle
hey,
of
I'm
Sweet
on
Baby
board with
Ray's.
that.
Yeah, it was a good
I mean, it looked
barbecue
delicious.
sauce.
But it was on his bookshelf.
Yeah,
With
it
his
was on
Still
a
on
book
board
shelf.
with it.
What if he was just eating barbecue and they're like, "All right, ready to go live?" And he's like,
He probably has a balcony outside of his office with a barbecue, and he just like
What if he just takes a swig as he's reading a book? He's just reading his book, sitting there in his winged armchair, reading his book, and then he just takes a swig of barbecue sauce.
Honestly,
I think that like maybe it was like one of those awkward office gifts. Like maybe somebody really hated Facebook just like quit, and in the exit interview they gave him a bottle of Sweet Baby
So he
Ray's.
just like sat it back there and forgot.
Because
He's
there's like some
"Ah."
story behind it, like where like
I feel like if I were Zuck, I would lean into the "I'm not human" and just constantly have little Easter
Yes.
eggs planted around that just like that. Maybe that's what it
just
is.
troll people.
Maybe he's such a good troll, his trolling isn't caught. It's just like, that's so weird, but really it's a trolling? Maybe.
You
I
know,
don't
it could just also be just product placement.
No, because it was sideways. Like it was kind of on, it wasn't even like,
oh, it wasn't.
it
like,
wasn't even
presented.
camera
Oh, okay.
front. It was kind of on an angle. But the internet sleuth figured out that it was Sweet Baby Ray's. So I
I
gotta
want
love.
barbecue.
I had barbecue brisket today with the
Was it good?
chipotle aioli. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was really good.
And you know what else I hear that you enjoy is New World,
Mhm.
the MMO from
Mhm.
Amazon Games.
Mhm.
But I understand there's some weirdness with the economy. Do you want to tell me
broken.
about that?
Horribly
Okay.
broken.
Why is it broken?
So somebody figured out that they could do. Backing up, New World on Steam has the ability to have family share. So you could make a new Steam account, then you could share the game with that Steam account, right? A whole new account, not even the same New World login. So that people were doing what's called phishing bots and gold bots. So they were basically setting up fake New World accounts, using them to like mine some in-game thing and then transferring it to their other character using the family share. So that was one issue that they were having, but somebody figured out that you could do a trading post gold duplication where you could get unlimited gold. The only way to sell things in that game is through the trading post. Think of it like the vending machines in Fallout 76.
Right.
It's only player to player. You can't sell things to any NPCs at all. It's all player to player transactions. So they figured out how to use these two accounts. I'm pretty sure I got this right. And they ended up doing a gold duplicate and getting unlimited gold, which breaks the in-game economy. The other thing that they figured out how to do is item duplication. So one person would get a really, really, really rare rolled weapon, and then they would just duplicate it, and then all of a sudden, all that time you spent in crafting doesn't matter at all because somebody just broke the... So they broke the entire game's economy by finding this gold duplication out. So they pulled Bethesda, and just like the vending machines, they shut down the entire trading post. You can't buy or sell anything on the trading post, which sucks because that's where I bought all my bullets. So that got shut down, and that's a main part of the game. The economy is really important. Every time you do a trade, every time you do a transaction by crafting, you pay a little bit of your own gold to tax, and that goes to the company that owns the settlement, like a player-owned company.
Right.
Every house that's owned has to pay property taxes, and that also goes to the company that owns the settlement. Now, a lot of players, what they ended up doing to pay the property taxes, if the property tax got really high, so like if, so if the property tax got really high, you'd have to pay a ton of money in property taxes for your house. So they were selling stuff on the trading post to make the money to pay the taxes. But now the trading post is closed and they can't afford the taxes on their house. So it's like everything's broken. And what's really bad is the game has been out for a few months. This company has never built an economy before in a game. It's a new game, right? And what was really sad was like the devs were putting out blogs on Reddit basically pouring their hearts out of like, look, we are trying so hard. We're listening to you. We're trying to fix the bugs. We're doing the best that we can. We're going to fix this. And people were still like, that's terrible, they ended up posting a large article about all the patches that they're going to do. They are putting out a really big update to fix a lot that's broken in the game. All good stuff. But they did say, they're like, everything that was duplicated, we can't track it. So we're just going to let it go. All the gold that was duplicated, we don't know who did it. We don't know where it's at. We have to let it go. So the entire economy is now just kind of like real life. There's a few people who have a lot of gold and they cheated to get it.
Well, according to this GameSpot article, that blog post also says, and I quote, the economy is performing within acceptable levels.
Maybe to them.
Sounds exactly like the premier of my province. Everything is on fire. And he's like, everything's fine.
So
I don't know what you're talking about.
So maybe it is. I don't know. I was talking to my wife about it because she's kind of followed this game since the start in the first open beta. And I said, I don't understand why everyone's so mad. And she's like, well, they had multiple betas to get a lot of this stuff ironed out that just didn't. They did fix a lot from those betas. They did get a lot of feedback and change a lot of things, but people were just upset that the game got delayed. It took so long. There were a lot of different betas, and it still has these major breaking problems. And I get that. I also think that this supports my theory of keeping my fingers in my ears and my eyes closed whenever a new game gets announced, because I don't have my hopes and dreams dashed. Like with Cyberpunk, for instance, I didn't know that they cut wall running. I didn't know that they cut the whole tram situation because I didn't watch anything up and coming. So what I got was, I didn't expect anything except for what I got, and what I got was pretty good. So my hopes were not dashed because I wasn't let down. My expectations were not too high. I watched a lot of the Far Cry 6 stuff. I did not buy the game because I knew exactly what would happen when I buy it. I would hate it. New World, same thing. I didn't pay attention to any of the hype. It came out, and I liked it.
I did hear that they added Danny Trejo to Far Cry 6, and that makes me kind of want to play Far Cry 6.
That's
I think
the
they took
only
him away
reason to buy
already.
it.
What? No.
I think they
you
added
can't
it
just give us Danny Trejo and then take him away.
What was I watching that had Danny Trejo in it the other day?
Carlo and I watched Anaconda last weekend with J-Lo.
The whole end, the whole opening scene was
That movie does not hold up. let me
No,
tell
it does
you.
not.
But
I mean, it
Danny
wasn't great
Trejo-
back then.
Danny Trejo does a supporting role,
Really?
and he's in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and that's it.
Danny Trejo
It's
is
very
also
good.
in the new Muppets Halloween special.
Are you serious? I have to
Yes.
watch it. Was it good?
Fascinating.
He's in it for he's like a cameo. I laughed so hard.
I think it looks cute.
It was
I think
amazing.
it looks like a cute little
It
movie.
was amazing. It was so good.
I do have a bonus news article that's not in show notes. Yes, this is a pretty big deal, you guys. It's a pretty big deal. Bowser has pled guilty and will pay Nintendo $4.5 million. So it sounds like Mario's finally brought him to justice. Bowser will answer for his crimes. By which I mean that a man named Gary Bowser, who participated in a hacking enterprise to unlock Nintendo Switch systems, has pled guilty to those crimes. And as part of his plea deal, he will pay Nintendo $4.5 million. He is, however, still facing potentially multiple years in prison. So this plea agreement, which was outlined in a court filing in Nintendo's Western District of Washington, states that Bowser was a member of a cyber criminals enterprise that created, sold, and distributed circumvention devices capable of allowing game consoles to play ROMs, thereby inflicting monetary harm on the game developers and publishers who sold the legal versions of these games. So he was doing some piracy. And he went down for this, and it's really funny.
Why are they
because
always
his name
named
is Bowser?
Isn't the
It's so
isn't
funny.
the CEO of Nintendo also named Bowser?
the new president is named of Nintendo America is named Doug Bowser, I believe.
So is Gary Bowser? Is he American?
I presume so. I don't know if it says.
Does that matter?
Here.
Do you assume
It
because
does?
he's in a part of a big scandal that he's got to be an American? What are you trying to
Well,
say?
no, because
Um,
Shalene said he may face prison time, and I would rather
Yes.
face prison time in America than in Japan.
Yeah, there
Have
are
you ever
plenty
been
of
to
worse
American prisons?
places. Rick, have you ever
no,
been
but
to
I've
a
watched
foreign
Breaking Bad.
prison? There's some far worse,
I would
far
imagine
worse
Japan's
places
prisons
to
are
go
pretty
to
rad.
prison than America.
All
I
right.
mean, the amount of tax dollars. Anyways,
Who's
Yeah.
got
So
the
anyway,
best
I thought that was Rick. No,
prisons? What? I want to know now.
that's it. That's all I got.
12 best prisons in the world that are more luxurious than your college hostel room. Norway, number 1. The dude sitting on a
I'm not
deck in the
surprised.
oh my
sun.
god, he's suntanning.
Oh,
That's
you
I'm
can
not
see this.
surprised that
Maybe we
it's
should
in
commit some
Norway.
crimes.
It looks like an IKEA showroom.
It does look
New
like
Zealand.
IKEA.
Wow, that's nice. Austria.
Oh,
Spain.
that's better than the dorms that I lived in college.
Switzerland.
that place is nicer than
Ooh.
my house.
Future beautiful prison Germany. And then we have Sweden. Of course, it's like all European. Norway. And the Philippines?
They're doing a dance routine.
What is that in the front?
That's
He's
fascinating.
doing the Thriller dance.
Oh, I get it now.
There's a lot of interesting things in the Philippines, Rick.
Indonesia? Okay, Japan's not. Okay, so those were two.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah, but yeah, there are many far worse places to be imprisoned than in America. Even
I'm
though
sure.
American prison system has got lots of problems as well. We're not going to go into that
No.
because video games.
Mhm.
Oh, there is a prison simulator video game that just released. I heard about
There's also that EA Prison Break.
Yeah. And what's that called?
I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called, but there's
Oh.
also Prison Architect, which is wonderful.
Oh, there
You know what
go.
also feels like prison?
What?
Hearing you guys talk about prison games.
Hmm.
A Way Out. That's what the EA one is called.
A Way
that
Out.
was you played that with your mom, didn't you?
I played most of it with Mom. We never finished.
Did you guys
Oh.
do good?
It was okay. It was difficult.
Like emotionally?
No, because Mom would go off book a lot of times. You know,
Oh.
we would make the plan, and we'd be like,
Wow,
okay, Mom,
now
you
we know where you
like-
Yeah, I was gonna
from.
say like mother like daughter. If she made you angry, imagine you and me playing that
Well, yeah,
together.
we would talk and we'd be like, okay, Mom, so you distract the guard, and then I'm gonna sneak behind and go get the hammer or whatever.
Gonna
There
smash
she
you with
is picking flowers, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Did I ever tell you guys about the Splinter Cell conviction co-op with my mom?
No.
Okay, so Splinter Cell, right?
Yeah.
You guys know Splinter Cell. You
Yeah.
love Splinter Cell. It's fantastic.
I love
Sam-
Splinter Cell.
Sam Fisher.
Yeah, Sam Fisher. Splinter Cell Conviction on the 360 had a co-op mode that was a separate campaign from the main game, right?
Oh, I didn't know this.
And I really enjoy a good stealth game, you know, and so Mom and I were playing the Splinter Cell Conviction co-op together. We would work out the plan before we went inside, right? It would be like, okay, Mom, so these guards are here, so I'm gonna wait for him there, and then when he comes up, I'm gonna like do the stealth takedown, and then when that's done, you pop out and shoot this other guard, and like, you know, we'd have the plan ready, and the guard would be like coming up to where I was, and she would panic and be like, get away from my daughter, and like bust out and start shooting, and she would be like, save yourself.
That sounds like great fun.
It was the funniest thing. It was
Oh
it was
my.
hilarious because anytime any of the guards would get close to where I was, she would panic and try to save me by distracting them. It was so funny. My mom, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys, do you want to know about some game stocks?
Mhm.
So, what happened in the world of the game stock market, Mr. Vendor?
Well, there was quite a bit of fluctuation today on the
Watch
game stock market. These prices are coming in at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Closing, Sony closed at 123.22, up 57 cents. Microsoft at 336.06, down 38 cents. Nintendo up almost $2, closing at 55.35. Take-Two down $5.71 today, closing at $187.20. Activision closed 40 cents lower at 67.83. Ubisoft up 30 cents at 47.30. EA down $2.91, closing at 139.57, and Tencent closed down $1.61, closing at 58.59. Now, you might think, wow, things are not looking really good for the stock market for video games right now.
Wow.
But that's actually contrary. So this article from the Motley Fool, which is a pretty common source for investing basics and stock market things, written by Sanmeet Dio, talks about how there's some pretty good news for video game investors in terms of the latest industry numbers and how they're actually looking good overall. So despite today being a bad day, the video game sales are still holding up nicely, something that not all analysts expected. And most of us are really just spending a lot of time playing more video games and buying video game hardware. And video games overall are just performing pretty good, including several from Electronic Arts, which we know has had a pretty rocky year or last couple of years.
Mhm.
Yeah. What else do I want to say about this? Basically, this time compared to last year on a year-to-day basis or month-to-day basis is actually doing quite good. If you look for the month-to-date of September 2021, consumer spending for the total video game sales was up 3% to 4.4 billion compared to the previous year. And a lot of that was driven by video game hardware specifically. So it might be a little bit of confounding in the sense that maybe people are buying GPUs for Bitcoin or crypto. So, a lot of that was driven by video game hardware, which actually you can see is a 49% for the month of September. And the year-to-date total video game sales were up 12%, 42.3 billion. Again, driven primarily by video game hardware. But the year-to-date that is giving us a really nice picture compared to last year is really sort of comparing where games stand, given that everybody was at home during that time. And the growth since that time has been really positive. And so taking a look at the monthly consumer spending and how it's tracked over the last year, again, 3% for the month of September versus a year ago. And that's straight through through December as well. There's also higher ranges of consumer spending on video games on a month-to-month basis. And it's pretty nice because the September 2020, the top 20 video games across all platforms, not surprisingly, was like Madden, things like Madden, and they repeated to be the best-selling games of the month, ranked number 2 in 2021. And the 4th best-selling title of the 12-month periods ending in September 2021. So, and that was leading both on PlayStation and Xbox. Also, titles like FIFA were also very popular, and the NBA as well. There are also a couple names that of new launches like Tales of Arise, Deathloop, Life is Strange. Those are new games that had some really good strength and growth that contributed to the industry growth, and also drove monthly sales. And there's some other contenders. Sony and Nintendo games. Minecraft is up there again at number 8, and Assassin's Creed at number 10. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So if you're thinking about buying video game stocks or investing in a video game developer, now might be a good time since we're seeing a lot of positive growth. And if you are considering selling your video game stocks, you might want to reconsider holding on to them for a little bit longer.
All right. There we go. That is Gamestock. But we also have, Vendor, you're not done yet. You have a science segment. I don't have the new bumper. I forgot to... Yeah, that'll do.
Welcome back to the new science segment. Guys, I have a really cool story for you.
Do you?
So you know I'm like a professional student, right? I'm doing my PhD at the University of Alberta, which is the main university in my province here in Canada, in Alberta. And this story written by Kashmala Fida Mohateram of the CBC News on October 24th writes this article about a U of A master's student examining the daddening of video games. And so this master's student, I'm super proud because she's from my university, and she looked into many newer video games that have a father as a protagonist in the storyline. And she says, gone are the days of the lone protagonist in video games fighting his way to glory and to save the love of his life. Now, more and more, video games are centering around rugged father figures whose sole mission is to protect his offspring, sort of thing. And so, this type of new storyline is sort of evident in games like Red Dead Redemption, The Walking Dead, Last of Us, etc. And just a nod, The Last of Us is actually currently being filmed in my city right now, and also in Calgary. But Caitlin Ensley, a digital humanities student at the University of Alberta, had this new storyline as a subject of interest for her master's thesis. Ensley said she believes what video game journalist Stephen Totillo called the daddening of video games stems from developers' own personal experiences. And she goes on to tell CBC's Edmonton AM station, a lot of game developers are of an age where they're also dads. And I think that was influencing a lot of them. And I think that that's just the kind of compelling narrative for audiences as well. And so she said that many developers really have sort of confessed this in interviews with her for her research on how being a dad played a role in their inspiration of video game characters. And she had several interviews with the creators of The Last of Us, Neil Druckmann, who also mentioned the father influence in the stories in the video games that he's developed. She also said that the role of the father is really baked into the story of the game specifically. She said it's not just kind of an incidental thing where they are a protagonist and they're also just kind of happen to be a dad on the side. These things are deliberate. It's important to their character development, and it's really important to the story, and it's just really at heart of the game. So, and then, of course, the fathers in most of these video games share common features. They're straight, they're white, they're very burly and brawny.
Beards.
A consequence, she said, of game developer leads being straight white men. They often have traumatic pasts that stem from their careers in the army, police, or militia, and they seek redemption while putting lives on the line for their only child in a dangerous post-apocalyptic or dystopian or some socio-political disaster type world. There's also a redemption arc that she says where the dad figure is trying to redeem a past mistake, sometimes to do this with kids. And in The Last of Us, I don't know if you guys recall, but the protagonist actually takes on responsibility for a young girl after his own daughter dies. And she said, oddly enough, mothers always seem to be absent. And they are either dead or antagonistic or both in the form of ghosts.
It's like a Disney movie.
Meanwhile, fathers are often portrayed in very narrow ways, which the storylines don't really deviate from. And she finishes off the interview by saying it tends to be associated with a lot of violence, which is obviously not kind of the most common narrative for fathers. So I thought this article was interesting on multiple levels. One, because it sort of hits home for me in terms that it's research that's coming out of my university, but also that she really touches on a nice point there in her research, that she's shown that a lot of game development really is sort of a reflection of the people who create the games themselves.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
I mean, people play GTA, and the next thing you know, they're doing GPU heists.
Don't say that, because we don't need enough ammo. There's already enough ammo against gaming.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, though. I mean, if your director is a new father or something like that, speaking as a dad, your worst case fear is having to fight to save your family's life. Like, that is the worst thing to happen, whether it's like a fire or whatever, or a burglar. It's like the worst thing that can happen. Your daughter gets taken. I mean, like, it's a very compelling story. It's a very real fear, even if it's not like something that could, it rarely happens to most people. But like, so I get where like dads would pull inspiration from that, because it's something you have to deal with as a father. And I also understand that they're not writing from a mother's perspective, because it's impossible, I would say, damn near impossible to, as a father, think of things from a mother's perspective.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like Sarah's mind works different when it comes to parenting than my mind works. So like I think there should be a good shift into, I would love to see some like, you know, badass moms like take care of their kids and like kind of be like the alpha wolf, kind of storyline. I would love to see that. Like Carol from Walking Dead. I mean, her character arc when she became from like this frail mother to like blowing up that tanker. I saw like very little of her storyline, but I liked how she became kind of this like
Carol did turn into a total badass, but presenting her as a mother figure is a little great.
Is there another mother figure that I could use, because I really don't have a lot to pull from?
Just with Carol in particular, you remember Lizzie, the twins, and Lizzie?
No.
Look at the flowers, Lizzie.
No. Okay, whatever. But you get what I'm trying to say. Look, point in case right there. There's not enough representation.
What about Nora from Fallout 4?
I don't know. Nora?
The female protagonist?
Well, and like, look at Desdemona.
Oh, there you go.
Fallout 4?
Okay. But see, again, I never played as Nora. We talked about this. One of the reasons
Yes.
Yeah. So... I was just thinking
that's an example of a mother in video games.
True.
Okay.
True.
Great.
There's certainly lots of examples.
That's not even really well written, honestly.
But she does bring up the research brings up a good point in that the dad character is a pattern across video games.
It really is, now that I'm thinking about it.
It really is.
It is.
And
God of War.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection of a male-dominated industry.
Sure.
And it's spread beyond video games. Look at The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, I thought that would be really interesting. And to sort of piggyback on top of that, no dad jokes intended.
Piggyback.
We have a streamer spotlight this evening, and we thought it would only be fitting to spotlight a fellow who has been a avid viewer and listener of the shows over the years, and he is a streamer himself. He's been streaming for quite some time, many years. He's got his channel well established, and he sticks to his schedule. He's a very nice chap. You should go shoot him a follow, Daddio483. You can find his channel on twitch.tv/Daddio483, and he plays mostly Fallout 4, some Fallout 76 as well. Elder Scrolls. He plays a lot of Bethesda games, some Final Fantasy as well, and role-playing. He also plays a lot of car mechanic and fishing games, which is like near and dear to my heart. I just love watching the fishing games. And so he does have a Twitch page and a Twitter and a Discord as well, and a YouTube. He also has an Amazon wish list, so if you want to send him a Christmas gift this year, or if you want to donate or subscribe to his channel, head on over to twitch.tv/Daddio483.
Awesome.
And that's all I got.
There we go. Real quick, guys, side note from the mainstream. Do we want to do this? I'm not set up for it. Should we wait till next week?
Yeah, let's save it till next week.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to get into what we're playing, beep, 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 no. And so let's go ahead into...
I'm going to clip that, and it's going to be that's going to be the sound.
All right. Oh, I've been playing New World. I got to be careful with this microphone. I want this thing. I really do.
It's actually yours.
No,
you
it's
bought
not.
it. Yes, it is.
It's not. I stole it from the back of a truck. And...
Tomorrow on the news, $6,000 worth of audio equipment.
So yeah,
what they're gonna say is spike in electricity usage leads to podcasters' home.
So I've been playing New World. I took a bit of a break from it, kind of when that news broke. But up until then, I had been doing a lot of leveling, and slowly as I've been getting better, you can go to like new areas. And I gotta say, one of the things that's really impressed me with that game is the level design. There are places that are beautiful and gorgeous, and there are places that are really creepy looking. And there's this place I'm at now called Weaver's Fen, which is where I've been doing most of my syndicate quests and just general leveling. But like, they made it look so creepy and swampy, and then it's tough. And one of the funny things is they haven't really implemented swimming in the game. So you just kind of walk underwater while drowning. It's really strange.
Still haven't fixed that, hey?
No, they haven't added swimming yet. You just kind of walk and then walk. So that's been fun. I ended up switching from the rapier to a hatchet because the rapier wasn't killing things good enough. It wasn't doing enough damage. And when I switched to the hatchet, it's killing everything like crazy. It's been a lot of fun to play hatchet, and I feel a bit like Mel Gibson from The Patriot, where you're like musket, reload, musket, hatchet, chuck in the face, and it's just like, it's pretty cool. If only there was like blood squirting out like that movie. That would make it feel better. But yeah, so that game, and along with watching Game of Thrones all the way through for the second time, made me want to play like a more medieval game of some type. And I was like, I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance in a very long time, and I really liked my time with that game. And because of my stupid mistakes, I got stuck and I couldn't win. So I went and got Kingdom Come again, and I realized why I loved that game and also why I stopped playing that game. It is so hard.
Hard.
It is so hard to play.
Oh.
Because the controls are clunky and the combat's really complex.
Oh.
But there's something so endearing, and it's such a good game, and the characters are so good, and the dialogue is fun, and it's got this like Oblivion level of clunk that's endearing. So you're kind of like, oh, this is like a well-written historical Bethesda game with incredible landscapes and combat that is really interesting. And I've spent most of my time there picking flowers, honestly.
Lovely.
Leveling up my herbalism. Yeah. So, like, before, like, I'd pick one flower at a time, but as I've leveled it up,
start
I'd pick
calling
a whole
you
field.
Raleen.
Raleen, yeah. You can do like my dad does and call me Rickacina. Anyway.
Hey, Rick, have you ever watched Vikings?
No. Is that good?
You got to watch Vikings.
I'm not Nordic, so
I just started watching it, and it's awesome. It's very like, it's awesome. A little bit, yeah.
The only Viking
it's like
movie
Game of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones Nordic style, basically.
The only like Viking movie I've ever seen is Eric the Viking, which is really strange. Anyway, so I've been playing Kingdom Come, getting through that a little bit. I found some armor because I stole it, and that game is so difficult, man. Like, you fall down a little ledge and you hurt your ankle. Like, do you ever walk around your house and you step wrong? You're like, oh. Well, you can do that in the game, and then your character's actually injured. It's like, it's nuts. You get punched in the head and like you get concussed, and you're like, ugh, because you're not like. What's really fun about the game is you're not like the chosen hero. You're a blacksmith's son who's thrown into a situation. And that's who you are. You don't know how to fight. You're not a warrior. You're just kind of a loser, drunkard kid thrown into this situation.
I also love that he's illiterate, and you have to learn to read.
I forgot about that. You do. You actually have to learn how to read. It is one of the most interesting games I've ever played, with how they've made the world like you can go out and adventure. You're going to be awful at it for a long time, but you can do it. And there's like no mysticism or magic, which is interesting too, because most games have that in there. But no, it's just like combat. It's so much fun. It's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to dig into it a little bit more. But the other thing that I've been digging into, and I got my VR system back up and running, and I don't have a lot of room here to play VR. But I've been playing H3 VR again, and.
Is this the one with the hot dogs?
Yes.
Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. And gosh, I just love this game. It's so good. My only regret is that my VR system is cheap and janky. So like the hands are always like, it's again Blazing Saddles reference, where the guy's like, "This is my left hand," and he's like, "Rock solid," and he's like, "Yep." this is the one I shoot with. That's kind of how it feels sometimes, where I'm like holding up a pistol and it's like shaking like this, and it's not me, it's the controller.
Well, now you know
Sure
what
it
it's like
is.
to be a Canadian handling a firearm.
No, hey, your special forces are good. But kind of. But so yeah, that game is a lot of fun. I've been playing the Take and Hold. They have added a new map, which is an outdoor snowy map with long range. So typically, if you've watched the streams, the Take and Hold is like in a little area, and there's not a lot of long range shooting. So they've added an open area with like kind of 3 zones that is more long range. So you can like load in and get a rifle with a scope, and it makes sense because you can snipe things now. Although the sniping is very difficult in that game. In the alpha builds, they're adding in a new anti-shake system for people with like my VR controllers. So it'll steady the handshake because the controllers aren't as accurate as some of the other VR systems are. So I'm excited. I'm going to try the alpha build out. They've added some new guns and they've implemented some new things there. But that game is so much fun. There's this little mini arena where you load in, you can pick any gun you want, you can pick any hot dogs or sosigs is what they call them, sosigs. You can load in any armor type, any health type, as hard as you want, as easy as you want, if they have guns or not, and load in a bunch of them. So what I did was I set kind of everything to random and set their health to human level, which is kind of squishy. Or they're not squishy, it's human. So, and then I just hit, spawn groups of 4, and I just keep hitting spawn. And there's like 50 sosigs just kind of like rumbling around in this little mini arena. And I'll just take a machine gun and go Rambo. And there's just chunks flying and mustard going.
That's great. That's so great.
Helmets going. And so like what I like to do is when I first start this little mini arena, I'll like grab a rifle and like hit, auto spawn, and they'll keep spawning, and I'll kind of do like a Black Hawk Down scenario where I can see how long I last with like waves and waves of enemies coming with all the ammo going out. And then after I kind of get tired of that, because I really get tired, that's when I spawn a bunch in, turn off auto spawn, and take a machine gun and just and chunks are flying. It's so much fun. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been filling my time with. What about you, Vendor?
I've been hopped back into Sea of Thieves. My setup is now complete. I got my On Fire audio mixer replaced, so I got a new one.
Yay!
Yes, I went with the Mackie again, but it's the new version, and it's actually significantly smaller than the
Nice.
last mixer. So, and it's got USB capabilities for the out, so it's very nice. I am one less cable that I have to use. That
I wanted
sort
to
of-
pick on you so bad. I didn't.
I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, and it works really nice. Obviously, I think it sounds really nice. So I finally hopped back into Sea of Thieves, and actually, it was kind of spur of the moment. I think it was a couple of Sundays ago. Last Sunday, I think it was. No, it was Saturday because I got a little bit sidetracked. We were supposed to do Life is Strange, and that
Right,
didn't
right.
happen.
I was
and,
also sidetracked.
So I popped on Twitch. I woke up and I had my coffee and I popped on Twitch and see who's streaming. And Hardware Guy is streaming. You guys know Hardware Guy. I talked about him before on the show.
Yep.
He is this Canadian streamer who is sort of the go-to guy if you want to set up
Right. Server
he's the go-to
takeovers.
he's the go-to guy for the community Sea of Thieves events. I will say that. And he was streaming, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing? What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing much, He's like, "You want to make some money?" I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "Okay, I'll send you an invite." And he was on a brig, and they had the whole server, and it was just sort of a community thing, and it was like, do whatever you want. And he was running Reapers, and he had maps and maps and maps and maps of chests like you wouldn't believe. We just sailed around all afternoon and dug chests and talked about the world and talked to people in the chat. It was great. I fired up my stream. It was awesome. Yeah, it was a great day. And I gained 35 levels on my season.
Wow.
That'll do it.
And so I'm at level 70 something now. Made over 4,000 gold. Increased my Reapers about 7 levels. And so I'm at level 64 in Reapers now.
Nice.
And then Bud Run joined us in sort of like the last little bit. And then people were sort of phasing out after that. But and then I did sail again a second time. I hopped on my stream and I was sitting there trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And Bud Run popped in the chat and he said, well, what are you doing? You want to sail? And I said, yeah, sure. So we sailed and we're trying to figure out what we want to do. We threw up the merchant flag and we did a couple of merchant things. And we were like, this is kind of boring. So we raised the Reaper flag. And then we sunk 6 ships.
6 ships?
6. Yeah. The first 4 were sloops. And then the last 2 were a galleon. We sunk them, and then they came back, and we sunk them again, and then they just sort of like uninstalled the game. So
oh man,
are you guys familiar with Escapist Zero Punctuation reviews?
Somewhat, yeah.
Oh, never mind. He was reviewing Deathloop, and he kept saying Deathloop, and he goes, it sounds like someone with a lisp is saying, look, the sloop, and he showed a little picture of a sloop, and I just was like, died at that.
Oh, I was like, where is he going with this? Yeah, the sloop. Yeah, so that was fun. And I'm excited to sail with you nerds tonight. And I did hop into Red Dead Redemption 2 again, which has been really nice. Except you guys, we're at the point in the storyline where we got TB, which is never a good thing.
TB. Oh, right.
It's the part in the storyline that I hate because I know that it's inevitable and there's no way around it. I even put my mask up before I went and talked to the guy. And then when it like panned to the cinematic video of them talking, Arthur wasn't wearing his mask. Doesn't he know that there's public health restrictions in Valentine?
I was going to say, damn it, man, there's a pandemic going on.
So I was like super like I read up online about it. Like, is there a way to get out of doing this quest, or is there a way to work around it? Can I like take a bunch of drugs beforehand? And like, no. It's part of the storyline. It has to happen. That's just the way it is. So anyways, that's my gameplay. What have you been up to, Shalene?
Can I add one more thing in before? I just remembered because Archon and Shalene have been bailing on me every Sunday. I finally played some Back 4 Blood with my cool friends. And so, Shalene, you know your history with shooting me in the back, right?
I mean, it was one time.
Right, one time. We were gonna play. We were starting to play it, and I was like, "Well, what difficulty do we want to do?" And they're like, "Recruit only," which is the lowest difficulty because anything else adds friendly fire. And he's like, "And if you add friendly fire in this game, you will all die, but from each other." Because apparently, it's just so chaotic that with melee and shotguns and Shalene's tendency to shoot into zombie crowds where other teammates are, you will shoot everybody and kill everyone. But I want to say I've got to toot my own horn because you remember when we were doing our Left 4 Dead run, and I think it was the first one where the AI was just headshotting everything, and we were like, this dude is on point.
Yes, we loved that character.
So we were playing.
Was it Rochelle?
I think so. Yeah,
I think it was Rochelle.
Because in Left 4 Dead 2, he was terrible. Like it was no good. So we were playing, and we're going through some of the maps, and my buddy's up front meleeing everything with a bat, and these zombies keep dropping. Headshot, headshot, headshot. Every time he goes up to get one, headshot, headshot. He's like, man, this AI is insane. And he turned around and looked at me, and I like blew the barrel of my gun, and I was like, that's no
so
AI.
That is so great.
Because it was me.
That's great.
And I was purposely like shooting the zombies he was about to kill.
That is so great.
But he's like, man, this AI is awesome.
Have you ever played Dead by Daylight?
No. Is that the parkour one?
No. No, it's
Dead by
like
Daylight.
it's like horror, kind of like you gotta fix these
Some
things,
kind of survival situation.
and you have to avoid these terrible monsters. Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, what the heck
Tim's
is that?
been playing that lately.
yeah. It's probably a game you guys would enjoy to play together. You should check it out. But
I'm gonna have to check that out. Anyway, I just wanted to add that in there because
That's great. That's a great story. And that was my gameplay for the week.
oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
You can take the email.
I've done a very small amount of the Fallout 76 homework, and that's really all I've had time to do.
Really?
Like, I have played almost no video games lately. It's my life has been a mess, and work is overwhelming, and I've had no time for anything.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Fair enough.
Fine.
But you're gonna take some time for yourself this evening, and I'm excited.
Yes, we're gonna sail.
The most important question is, Shalene, are you sleepy?
Not right now.
Oh, good.
I mean, it's gonna set in, I'm sure.
Quick, read
You
the
know,
email.
Because what's gonna happen is we're gonna take our break. All right, let's be right back, and then she's gonna come back and be like, "Hi guys."
It's like,
I'm sorry, I work really hard, okay?
It's like we know
you. Guys
you.
are jerks.
I know.
we're not jerks.
Yes,
we're just
it's
pragmatic.
And
Well,
friends.
it's entirely possible that I have fallen asleep on the boat while driving the boat. Also possible that I have fallen
I don't
asleep while
remember that.
driving the boat.
Shalene, get off the wheel.
Yes.
Shalene, are you there?
So
Let's read this email,
yeah,
shall
go
we?
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, this one comes from Phile. Hello, I hope the three of you are doing well. I was prompted to write after just finishing the TFS Goodbye show. First, let me say that while I'm sad to see TFS go, as I'm sure many people are, the reasoning is 100% understandable, and the way you wrap things up couldn't have been better. When I was first getting into podcasts, yes, I know I'm a late bloomer, I was randomly searching for subjects of interest and I came across TFS. After listening to one of the episodes, I was hooked. The flow, camaraderie, and laughs, compounded by the occasional dumpster fire, led to hours of chuckles and good vibes.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the show so much that I went back and started from episode 1. Fallout has always been a special game for me. I picked up Fallout, yes, the original one, when it came out. I was around 15 at the time and was an instant fan. I was a moderately heavy gamer as a kid, and something about the feel, storyline, and aesthetic just worked for me. I loved it. I played Fallout 2 and Fallout Tactics when they released, and then while I still gamed in my late teens and early 20s, I didn't really dedicate a lot of time to it due to other things like dating, partying, sports, college, and such. And then it happened. I was about 26-ish, and my girlfriend, now wife, bought me an Xbox 360 and Fallout 3 when it dropped.
Oh no.
Because I mentioned how much I love the series
That's why she's
and
a wife
hadn't
now.
played it in so long. I promptly thanked her and also informed her that I would be mentally unavailable for the foreseeable future. I still remember loading up Fallout 3, and I was just blown away at how the little top-down game I had known and loved had turned into this massive FPS RPG. The music, design, scenery, atmosphere, weapons, and characters, all of the things just blew me away. I was 15 again, but instead of imagining being in the wasteland, I was transported there. I was ecstatic. My wife? Not so much. I've played every version since and have enjoyed every minute, even 76. TFS then led me to Gamestack, which I listen to as well and enjoy very much. I'm a building automation specialist, and I drive a lot for work. TFS Gamestack has made my hours-long journeys traveling around the country that much more enjoyable. Thanks for all you do, and see you on the stack. Be well, Phile. And he included a phonetic pronunciation in case Rick was the one reading the email. Love that. And we do have a second email. Guys and gal, today I am so sad. The old episodes from the show that shall not be named are gone from the Apple Podcast app. I love going back to some of those old episodes because you guys and those episodes have so much nostalgia for me. When Fallout 4 came out, when I got into grind and build mode, I would put on those episodes and build settlements for hours. Just listening to you all talking about the lore and your own gameplay, I'm so sad because it seems I won't be able to do that anymore. I love what you guys are doing and the community you've built around it. And I know those episodes have to be super cringy for you because you were still figuring it out. But man, so much good times in those shows. Love you guys. You have given me and so many others hundreds of hours of entertainment, and thank you really isn't enough. Sad to hear TFS is on hiatus, but I totally understand. I myself could not get into 76, but you guys were a big influence on me playing the older games, 1, 2, 3, and New Vegas. And for that, thank you is even less than not enough. I'm not very computer literate yet, so I started doing content creation in my own way. I post character journals and daily on the Fallout 4 subreddit as user/ladder silver. I've attached one of them for reference. Thank you all so much for helping me get into such a massive and amazing world.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's
and then
great.
where's the signature for this?
Nice.
It was from Dylan.
Dylan.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, this is really cool. The image that he's posted of the character journal has got a background of like a workbench with some Fallout stuff on it, a jet, couple bobbleheads, some caps, bullets, some tools. And I can read the little journal entry if you like.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's dated October 27th, 2257. Made it back to Sanctuary about an hour ago. Corvega went as smoothly as I could have hoped. Lara and Troy agreed to be part of our supply line and be on call for the Minutemen, as did the Abernathy's. I'm sorry, the font is a little small. I just got done speaking with Preston, and he's agreed to go with me to Diamond City on the condition that I take the rank of general for the Minutemen. I asked why he wasn't general, being the next in line after all of his superiors were killed, and he simply said he wasn't cut out to rebuild the Commonwealth, but he thinks I am. I told him Sean comes first, but he insisted, said I can still do what I need to in order to find my son. But when we got word of settlements or farms in need of help, we make time to do it. I agreed to take the position. I need his help, and once I've found Sean, it'll be a good thing to have a network of farms for security. So now I'm a general. Not exactly a promotion I was expecting, even before the world ended. We head out to Diamond City. Preston says there are a lot of gangs closer to the city, so we've got to be careful after we cross.
Nice.
And then it's like burnt.
Nice.
The page is like burned.
I saw the
It's
artwork.
really
It looked
neat.
really good.
That was really cool.
Nice.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I also want to remind you guys that this email talked about what did they say?
The show that shall not be named.
No, they said something along the lines of
emails.
episodes were super cringy at the start.
Oh.
I've been working on this montage for 100th episode.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
I'm excited.
I mean, we're still somewhat cringy.
That's part of
Hey,
it.
speak
Just
for
because
yourself.
we've been doing this for years, that doesn't mean we're good at it.
That's very true. The whole
Mhm.
10,000 hours thing, bull. So
Yes, we
anyway,
are stuck at our 9,999.
It feels like it's been 10,000 hours. Should we close out this ship?
yes, that is a show, folks. And the way that you can help this show out, actually, rather, the way that you can help awesome little kids out is by going to Oak and Crow, our sponsor, oakandcrow.com, and go to the Artist Coffee tab and buy 1 or 5 bags of We Just Love Coffee, our signature blend. And every $2 of each bag goes to Children's Miracle Network, specifically the Johns Hopkins Children's Medical Center in Baltimore, Maryland. So, yes, again, that is oakandcrow.com and the We Just Love Coffee blend. Their other blends are delicious as well. You can email us like these other two lovely listeners at info@wejustlovegames.com. We always enjoy reading your emails and learning how we are cringy. You can talk to us on Twitter at We Just Love Games, and Shalene at Shalene L, at Vendortron in, and I am not on Twitter. So there you go. You can also find us on Facebook.com/We Just Love Games, and also /groups/We Just Love Games. To join our Discord, come anytime to twitch.tv/We Just Love Games and click the link down below us, or you could email us or send us a message on another social media platform, and we will get you the invite code as well. Live recording time here at twitch.tv/We Just Love Games at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the real time. And you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and wherever your other podcast sources are. And if we're not on your favorite podcast aggregate, please let us know. I will try to get us there. Please like, subscribe, and review. Every 5-star review with some texty texts on iTunes will be shouted out and read at the beginning of the show. So if you'd like that personal shout out, leave us a 5-star review. Thank you so much for listening, folks. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Next week, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Any last words, folks?
2 weeks.
Was that the last word?
That's a callback to Total Recall. With Arnold, when he wears the fake head. Just roll the credits.
Bye, guys.